If you're like me, always looking out for new sapphic film and TV content, look no further, because I have 11 pieces of content that are either on the horizon or already released for this year. I covered a number in my previous video, including my new fave show for the year, The Crow Girl, the currently releasing The Last of Us, Thai GL shows, and much more. At the end, I have an update for the film we've been teased about for 6 years now, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. First up, we have the long-awaited feature film directorial debut from Kristen Stewart called The Chronology of Water. She's been talking about this film for years, and it will be making its debut as part of the Cannes Film Festival, taking place between May 13th and 24th. It'll be part of the official selection for the section called Un Certain Regard, that have an unusual style or non-traditional storytelling, and given it's Kristen Stewart, that feels about right. It's based on the memoir of Lydia Yuknovich, and the film is described as follows. A young woman finds her voice through the written word and her salvation as a swimmer, ultimately becoming a triumphant teacher, mother, and a singular modern writer. We've yet to get a trailer, so hopefully that will be soon, and that it'll get a wide release later this year. How gay this is, I don't know, but given it's helmed by Kristen, I feel like that doesn't really matter, because even if it's quote-unquote straight, it's being told through the lens of Kristen's queerness, so, it's basically gay regardless. On the 23rd of May, the fourth installment of the Fair Street series, based off the books, will release the standalone film Fair Street Prom Queen. Set in 1988 at Shadyside High, the popular girls are in competition for the title of Prom Queen. After an unexpected nominee is revealed, one of them, Laurie, finds herself hunting down a killer when one by one the other girls turn up murdered, and she will surely be next. It promises to be, as the trailer declares, one killer prom night. The previous Fair Street trilogy had a prominent sapphic storyline running through the series, and I would guess that there will be something gay in this one too, if only because there is a girl dressed in a tux for prom night, which of course doesn't immediately mean she's queer, but it does hint at it. It seems like this next one has been a long time coming, 5 years in the making to be exact, almost as long as The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, because it has been in post-production limbo, and it's the old guard too with Charlize Theron. She sure has been turning up in my videos a fair bit over the last while. This is the sequel to the surprise hit Netflix movie, The Old Guard, and I guess you would call it a superhero film that follows a group of immortals who are mercenaries for hire. When a new immortal emerges, the group is alerted to the fact via dreams, and so it is with US Marine Nyla, who revives after having her throat slit while deployed in Afghanistan. They extract her, but things are in a dicey situation since the CIA are on their tails, and the movie left a clear opening for a sequel that promises to explore the relationship between Andy, the very first immortal, and another woman who was sentenced as a witch 500 years earlier and then sunk to the bottom of the ocean in a cage, and they've never been able to find her. Andy still dreams of her drowning over and over and over. Nyla was also giving vibes too, if I may say so, and there is a canon gay couple in the team as well. There isn't a whole lot of information about what the film will be about, except that we can expect a lot of action. We will also be seeing Rosie O'Donnell playing a drummer in the British film Heavenly Waters, about a rock band from the 70s that reunite for a single concert after not talking for 40 years, following the scandal where the drummer, Rosie O'Donnell, had an affair with the lead singer's wife. Of course, things don't go as planned. Rosie announced some 10 months ago that the film was about to go into production in autumn of 2024, and I saw that it's slated for a 2025 theatrical release, so we should be seeing it later this year. Season 3 of the TV series Invasion has not yet announced a release date, but it is possible it will be later this year. From details I could scrounge on the internet, Season 3 filmed last year, finishing in September, so it's fair to assume that it will be released this year. The series is Apple Plus's most popular sci-fi show that follows 5 different ordinary people from different countries as the world is visited by aliens for the first time, and the upheaval it causes across the globe. One of the 5 is Mitsuki, who we see in Season 1 having a romance with Hinata. I'm not sure how substantial of a storyline it is, or if it evolves further, as I haven't seen the show. Mother Mary was announced back in 2023 and finished filming in July of 2024, so a 2025 release date is entirely possible. It stars Anne Hathaway alongside Michaela Cole and Hunter Schafer, who plays Sapphic in Euphoria. The film is described as an epic pop melodrama, which will explore the relationship between a fictional musician and a famous fashion designer, with Hathaway potentially taking on the role of a glamorous pop star. It looks to be a musical, and with it being a collab between A24, one of the stronger production houses out there that did Everything Everywhere All at Once and Lady Bird, this promises to be a high-quality sapphic film to look out for. On to the shows that have already been released. The 6-part UK series Dope Girls finished releasing last month, an adaptation of the 1992 book Dope Girls, The Birth of the British Drug Underground. Set in the early 1900s London, it follows the emergence of the underground nightclub scene when a middle-class wife finds herself becoming the most dangerous woman in England. From what I've read, it's a fantastical take on this time period, so it's by no means historically accurate, and there is some lesbian activity in there too, when one of the leads, Violet, who is training to become a policewoman, finds herself locking lips with a Mrs. Fletcher. This next one is a documentary called Come See Me in the Good Light about a relationship between Andrea Gibson, the Colorado Poet Laureate known for their poetry slam and activism, and Megan Falley, as Andrea deals with ovarian cancer. Comedian Tig Notaro, who famously went through breast cancer herself, is a friend to Andrea and was also the producer. It premiered at Sundance in January and was voted by the audience as the festival favourite, which according to the director was fully unexpected, but was the result of the truly touching love story between Andrea and Megan. For those looking for non-binary representation as well, Andrea identifies as NB. Dreamers debuted at the Berlin International Film Festival in February of this year about the story of Isio, who is taken to a detention centre when she is caught working without her papers in the UK. In the detention centre, she has a relationship with her roommate Farah, who is keen to enact an escape plan, but hoping for a fair asylum hearing and wanting to stick to the rules, resists. That is, until her asylum petition is repeatedly denied, and so she is forced to seek freedom in another way. Venice, the series, released its 7th season back in February after long delays. This is the brainchild of Crystal Chappell, who was involved in the Otalia pairing on Guiding Light, the longest-running soap of all time, which is a sapphic love story that I hold very dear to my heart. Due to silly censorship by Procter & Gamble, the ladies didn't get to have a proper kiss, and so Crystal, seeing the fan outcry, decided to give us what we wanted and created Venice, the series, all the way back in 2009, and here we are 16 years later. It follows lesbian Gina along with her friends and family living in Venice, and at the centre is the love story between her and the love of her life, Annie, with whom things have not always been smooth. The first couple of seasons are available for free on YouTube, and as this is a fan-funded series, the rest is available for purchase. I have links to both the Otalia story and the free seasons of Venice in the description. I do recommend you check them out. Now, before we get to the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo news, let's cover content that is in development that more than likely won't come out this year, but you might want to know about. There is a as yet unnamed sport biopic about professional boxer and trailblazer Christy Martin. The movie filmed last year but has yet to announce even a tentative release date. It will delve into the challenges Christy faced both inside and outside of the boxing ring as a woman, domestic violence survivor and a sapphic. Sydney Sweeney plays the lead, who you might recognise, among other credits, from the one-and-done sapphic Netflix series Everything Sucks, where she played Bi. I'm sure many of you will be pleased to know that Season 3 of Vigil is set to begin filming later this year with a presumed 2026 release. What started as an unexpected limited series with the ever-delightful Saran Jones and Rose Leslie appears to be a fully fledged series now. We got to see how the two met and fell in love, how they broke up and came back together to then get pregnant, and I imagine we'll get to see how they navigate a family together with the demands of their often dangerous jobs, which sees them investigating various crimes. There is a movie called The Housekeeper, which was announced last year, that has Uma Thurman, Anthony Hopkins, and Phoebe Dynevor attached, with director Richard Ayer from Iris and Notes on a Scandal, 2 movies I just covered on my video about actresses who were nominated for Oscars for playing sapphic. So, one can reasonably expect that this film will be of a similar style and quality, especially with the heavyweight casting. It looks to be a brooding film set in Cornwall where Uma plays a housekeeper called Danny to a rich widower, Lord de Withers. Hidden desires surface for Danny when she meets a young novelist, Daphne. I couldn't find any further announcements since the end of 2024 when the project was announced, so it might be a while before it comes out. So, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, an adaptation of a hugely popular 2016 book, was announced back in 2019, and since then it has seemed to flounder in development hell. But it is not dead in the water, and in fact, back in February, it was announced that Maggie Betts will take over directing the project from the previously announced Leslie Headland. How long it'll be before it goes into production is not known. We've yet to hear about casting, although apparently the script is written and approved. The book follows the film star Evelyn Hugo, who had 7 husbands during the 1950s golden age of Hollywood. Now at 75, she handpicks a young journalist to write her biography, and as she is interviewed for the book, she reveals a secret that no one suspects. The secret is very sapphic. With Aileen Shaken, who you'll know as the executive producer of the L Word, Gen Q, and the Real L Word shows, alongside Jennifer Beals, who played Bet, as executive producers on this project, we can trust that it's going to be a gay old time. If you want to find out what has already been released or what is scheduled to be released this year, do check out the video on your screen. If you know of any other film and TV shows that are scheduled for release or have been released this year, do make mention in the comments, and until next time, lady lovers.